right, Tom. Well, the break is now actually no break. The Carrs Institute for Learning and Collaboration offers resources for local nonprofits looking to grow and expand right here in the community. Now, Keisha A. Rivers Shorty is here with 5 quick tips for nonprofits to create a buzz and get off the ground. Keisha, welcome back.
Welcome. Thank you.
And and it's always good. You have such great tips. A lot of people, have dreams of starting a nonprofit, or they have something that they're really passionate about and they're looking forward to do it. But the thing about it is they might have these organizations, but they're not getting the word out effectively, or they don't know how to get the word out effectively. So how can nonprofits let people know, hey, here we are, this is what we do?
Well, one of the major things that we always hear is nobody knows about us. How do we get support?
Yeah.
And they're always calling people like you, and they're calling the news stations.
Yeah.
So 5 quick tips that I always tell nonprofits is you have to have a plan of exactly what you're going to do. You can't just come out and you say, hey, we're here.
Yeah.
Open our doors and let people know. So you have to have a plan of what you're going to do. You have to be consistent with that plan and following through.
Okay.
So as soon as you create a plan, you have to be consistent with following through, whether it's Facebook, whether it's word of mouth, whether it's flyers, you have to be consistent.
And letting people know what your organization is and
Yes.
what your organization is doing.
Exactly.
Okay.
What your organization is, what you're doing, if you're having events, and so on.
Okay.
Then you have to figure out a way to set yourself apart. You have to stand apart.
Yeah, and how do you do that, especially if you have lots of nonprofits that that might have the same interests as another?
Exactly. So you have to have a niche, and you have to figure out a way to make sure that you stand apart from everybody else. Then on top of that, what you have to do is you have to tell your plan. You have to tell your story to everybody.
And how you came up with.
Exactly. How you came up with it, what you're doing, how it is that makes you stand apart from everybody else. And so what you want to do is you want to make yourself be different. So if there's several other organizations that all rescue pets, how are you different?
Exactly.
So you don't want to just advertise, you don't want to just come out and you want to say donate to us, but you want to tell your story, how you came about, what makes you separate from everybody else, and you want to enlist people's support.
So when the public really knows more of a backstory about you, then they might be more inclined to say, oh, okay, well, I get it now, and support you, or maybe pass it on to someone who might need it.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then the other thing is you don't always have to be in the news.
Okay.
So what you want to do is your barber, your stylist, someone that works at Home Depot,
Yeah, someone at your church or anything.
Exactly. So enlist your friends, enlist a network of supporters, enlist people that know you, that support you, that can come on board, and enlist a whole network of people that can tell your story, that can get on board, and that can consistently support you and spread the word about it. And the whole thing about it is create a buzz and get a following. So Facebook, social media, your website, make sure that there are a number of different ways that people can support you, that people can follow you, and keep that up and have that plan and be consistent with it all the time.
And try not to get discouraged within the first, is there a time limit that you tell people who have these nonprofit organizations that they should expect for things not to quite get legs just yet, so they don't get discouraged?
Well, you have to be consistent, and I say that you have to start looking at things 6 weeks, 6 months out.
Okay.
So you can't just put something out and say, oh, I've had it up there a week. Why is nobody coming? You have to look at 6 weeks to 6 months down the road.
Yeah, because that last minute stuff can hurt you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if you've got an event next week, that means you had to have started planning about 6 weeks to 6 months beforehand. So you have to look at things, and I always tell people, look at it a year in advance.
Okay.
So start putting that on the calendar and start planning a year out, and make sure that you're being consistent with it.
And so with the Carrs Institute in closing, that's what you help these nonprofits or people who are looking. So if anyone needs to enlist your service, if they're thinking about getting their nonprofit off the ground, how would they get in contact with you?
If you go to our website at carrsinstitute.org, or if you can give us a call at 843-376-12.
Lots going on,
and the number's on the screen.
There it is.
But we do have workshops on that. Our workshop on Create a Buzz, Get a Following, where we actually help you to put together a PR and marketing plan. So that's one of the things that we walk you through step by step. Or you can give us a call and we'll help you with that. Or you can find us on Facebook.
Okay.
And we'll give you tips on that as well.
All right, Keisha, thank you so much. Great information.
Thank you.
All righty. Much more coming up after the break, so stay with us.